Alright, new dev notes are out, and it is a pretty big one. To start, they go on talking about the 7th anniversary and how they released the next collab, and it is, as the leak suggested, Gachiakuta, or Gachiakta, any way that you want to pronounce it, but that is the next collab. They released the D6 teaser today. I checked it out. They show the main character Rudo. Um, so next collab is confirmed to be Gachiakuta, which will be, I believe, in the beginning of July. So beginning of next month. And then they go into Gachiakuta, quick um, summary of the anime. If you haven't watched it, I recommend it. I've read up until the end of season one, so I have not finished it, but I am caught up as to where the anime is. Um, a total of four characters will appear, which is cool. The leak that I saw said there's going to be three, so with there being four, um, is pretty cool considering the last few collabs that we've had, or last new collabs that we've had, have only had three characters. Especially with Fire Force that came out, there's only three characters, which was a little bit of a disappointment because you had to exclude characters that people really wanted, namely Arthur. But four characters is pretty cool, going back to basics. And then um, you'll be able to obtain one character through a check-in. So again, going back to basic, one of the characters will be free, and then the other three you have to get through pulling them. So there's that. Um, it seems that the new boss battle, event boss battle, will be the trash beast that appears. For those of you who don't know, in Gachikuta, the trash is kind of like the trash on the ground can come together and become alive in the form of trash beasts, and it is their job to go out and fight them. So the trash beast is gonna be the boss of this event, and that's pretty much it for the collab. And then it goes into more stuff for the 7th anniversary. Um, let's see. Oh, yeah, for the draw loyalty for the collab, you'll be able to obtain 10 collab tickets upon reaching 100, 200, and 500 milestones. So that's actually pretty good. A free multi every few what is it? Every like just above three draws, you get a free 10 tickets. So that's actually pretty good. Um, and then check-in rewards are divided into two parts. First check-in, you can get 77 diamonds, and then in the second check-in is when you get the collaboration hero, the free one, and then Holy Relic enhancement material. Um, and then here's a coupon that will allow you to obtain 77 legendary seals and auto clear tickets. And then Gother gets a free costume from his backstory. So that's pretty cool. Free costume for him. And then a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. So you can now you can now quick exchange materials on the upgrade menu instead of having to go all the way to King and the tavern to do it. Um, Knighthood effect revamp. Um, the old catastrophe story added in the replay menu. You can now see the amount of remaining um, hero talents on the enemy team. So with like um, Nemesis Melee, because you have a certain counter um, or countdown for your talent usage, you can now look and see how much the enemy team has, so you know like if they're gonna put up a counter or if they're gonna go into a solo mode. So that's really good. I know I've um, struggled to like kind of visualize what they're gonna do because I don't know if they have um, like one usage or not, because it also helps if they're to read ult gauge, because if they're not like 2/6, because like if they're 1/6 they'll have two, but then if they have any more then they'll have three, so it helps to gauge that. um, and then yeah, so until last year we carried out updates to celebrate Grand Cross global half anniversary in July, but this time they're going to move the update to August. So they're going to delay it by a month. I'm assuming this is because of GACHIAKUTA. I think they see that it's going to be quite a popular update, so a lot of people are going to summon on it, and people are going to have absolutely no gems for global half anniversary. So they're going to move that back a month to August instead of July. Um, Last year, Gelda appeared in half anniversary, so we'll see what they bring out for this half anniversary. But with all of that said and done for the dev notes, I want to go over the collab. So for those of you who don't know, this is basically what GACHIAKUTA is and looks like. It's very stylish. I really like it. I really recommend it. Um, as for who I think is going to show up, the main character, Rudo, obviously, I think is going to show up. He was in the first teaser today. I think every single day leading up to it, they're going to release a new character as to who's going to appear. Today, it was the main character, Rudo. Um, I think all of these guys are going to be humans because, I mean, I don't know if there's some sort of reveal later on that I just haven't gotten to yet, but as of right now, I assume all of these guys are humans. So, um, and I assume that too, considering it's gonna go up until where the anime leaves off. I assume that's what they usually do. So, since I've read up until that point, I believe they are all going to be humans. So whether or not they'll have synergy with each other is another story, but I believe they'll have some sort of synergy with human characters. So Rudo, I believe, is going to be the first character, obviously. Second character, I think is going to come out is Engine. He is the character that is kind of guiding Rudo along, I guess, to put it in a way. So he's kind of like his guardian. I don't want to say caretaker, but kind of his guardian. Not his like teacher. We'll get into that character in a sec. Um, but he uses an umbrella, which I think is kind of cool. So it'll be cool if he has like a stance card because of his umbrella. Like he puts it out, and then if you attack him, then he attacks you, obviously. Um, so I think Engine's going to be the second character to come out. And then back when there was only three characters left, I thought the last character was going to be Rio or Ryu. I think it's Ryo. I don't know. I didn't get any pronunciation help because I read it, but I believe this is going to be the third character to come out. She is kind of like the third character in the main trio of Rudo, Engine, and her. So I think she's going to come out. She uses a giant pair of scissors. Um, Forgot to mention, Rudo uses his gloves to fight. So he is mainly a like melee brawler, um, but she uses a giant pair of scissors. Um, so I think she's gonna come out. She might be the free character. I don't know. Usually the free character isn't like the most overly powerful character. Um, so it'd kind of suck if she like is the free character and then she just like isn't good at all or isn't as great. That would suck to see. But I think she'll be the third character. And then I thought that was going to be it. However, with this introduction of a fourth character, there are um, some characters that could show up. Like with Fire Force, we had Sho instead of Arthur. Why they included Sho, I don't know. Probably just because it's the connection to the main character and that. So that was interesting, including like the villain and all that, or like a villain. So there could be something like that. But personally, who I want is Zanko because this is my personal favorite character. So I really hope that he is the fourth character. Maybe he'll be the free character. I'm not sure. But this is who I personally think or want to come out. This is Rudo's teacher in a way. Um, so I really like this character, and I really want him to be the fourth character because he's my favorite. Um, so we'll find out because if there are four characters, one of these four, if these are the four that come out, one of them will have to be some sort of back unit. So one of them will be a support type character. Um, maybe one of these two don't show up and instead is swapped out for someone who is more of a traditional healer in the show. But I feel like this is the main cast, so it's probably most likely who's going to show up. Um, so I'm really excited for it. I think that this is going to be a fun collab. I really like GACHIAKUTA, as if I haven't said before. Um, I know I've said this like a few times, but definitely read it. I know with a bunch of these collabs in the past, I hadn't like read or watched any of it, so the collabs helped to get me into watching it. Like namely with Shield Hero and with ReZero. Like I hadn't watched any of it, but as soon as the collab came out, I decided to dive into it. I hope that's what happens with this. That the introduction of it kind of helps people to get into it because it's really fun. The world is interesting. The mechanics are interesting. Um, Zanka uses a stick, which I think is pretty cool because like everyone has like giant scissors and an umbrella with spikes on it, and then just fists, and he uses a wooden stick, which I think is pretty cool. Um, so yeah, that is the dev notes and the confirmed collab. So I say, um, if you want to continue summoning on Melee, go ahead. I might continue to do that, but I think I'm mainly going to save um, for GACHIAKUTA because I personally like it. If you don't, then that's fine. You can skip it, but I personally think it'll be worthwhile, especially with all of them probably being humans. Humans are going to have some insane synergy, especially with say because LR Escanor just got that buff, and then we have the Fire Force collab heroes, which are already pretty busted. That could be good with these guys, and then we have Reinhard, which is already busted on his own, and which increases his passive increases stuff with allied collab heroes, and he is a human. So I think it'll be worthwhile to summon on it, but if you don't want to, that's completely fine. But I suggest saving and summoning for this. But more will come out whenever we get the patch notes and whatever we find out exactly who the characters are. So that's about it. Yep.